Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Balance. We have the Libra energy, the Justice or the Adjustment card. You're somebody who I feel like you generally thrive in chaos. You know, I feel like you're very, very creative. You're very open-minded. I feel like when things are unpredictable and things are uncertain, like you're performing very well. Like you're paying attention to what's going on around you, and you're the mountain goat, you know, and you're climbing that mountain and you don't know what to expect, but you like the sort of ruggedness of it. You like the unpredictability of it. And I think that a little bit of that unknown element, a little bit of that chaos is where you really shine because, you know, your creativity comes out, you're adaptable, you get to move in different directions. It's kind of every moment is different. It keeps you paying attention. It keeps you on your toes. There's a lot of excitement. And I feel like that's generally the type of person you are. Now, this card is saying that we're trying to balance that out with a little bit of structure and a little bit of routine, and a little bit of order, a little bit of predictability, right? So that we can have this balanced sort of character. Because we don't want to be too far this way, where it's like I'm just chaotic. Like I can't wake up on time. I can't get to work on time because I'm chaos. I have no concept of time clocks or routines or anything. We don't want to be the other way, where it's like if things don't go exactly according to plan, I break down. You know, like my nuts and bolts start falling off and I go haywire. So we want a nice balance. We want to be able to do the routine and the order and the structure and the organization of something, but we also want that wild, chaotic creativity and just the kind of, you know, the Dionysian sort of energy and the sort of Apollonian energy, right? So let's put this card into a little bit of context and let's see how we're achieving this balance, or really what is, well, see, there's some of that fire energy. That's some of that thriving in chaos energy, okay? Here we have, well, there's the exact opposite. There's order, there's structure, there's routine, there's indoctrination, there's dogma, there is a certain hierarchy, there's a certain way of doing things. This is saying, nuh-uh. My way, chaos, yes. I mean, it's wild, it's exciting, it's fun. And this, of course, is a very, very strict and very rigid type of energy, okay? Here we have the Magician, which is this ability to sort of blend and be fluid back and forth between these energies. We have a Five of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. Very good. So there's a problem that you're trying to solve, and I feel that it is kind of right now it's a blending of, well, maybe this is kind of saying that, look, you need to be a little bit more chaotic and a little bit more creative, while at the same time not losing your balance, not losing your structure and your routine. You know, it's okay. Like if you're, I know we see this trope in movies all the time, like somebody gets hired on and they're the creative genius, right? They have all the good ideas. They're just a wild, just crazy genius, right? But they can't get to work on time. They can't get along with other people. They can't, they can't sit still during the meetings and pay attention. They can't finish the paper. Kind of reminds me of, like, I don't know, like Dr. House. You know, ever watch House MD? It's one of my favorite shows. I love Hugh Laurie. I heard he's a fan of the show too, by the way. I don't know if that's true or not. But he has this, you know, kind of chaotic genius, you know, persona but he's always on the verge of getting fired because he just can't file the reports. He can't do the billing. He can't show up on time. He can't wear the stupid lab coat that they want him to wear. Like, he just completely rebels against the Hierophant, right? And so you have this Hierophant inside of you, and I feel like this is sort of an unconscious element, needs to be a little bit more present. These two need to work together, right? This is a business partnership between the Hierophant and the Queen of Wands at this time. And I think it's the magician that's trying to be that fluid and understand how to shift back and forth between these sort of elements in order to solve a problem that's in front of you right now, okay, and get to the satisfaction and get to the golden fleece, the holy grail, right? Get to the goal here. Anyway, on this side, we've got the Lovers. Yeah, see, the union of opposites. Yeah, it's an alchemical union. We have some more of that chaos with the Princess of Wands. We have a universe or world card, and we have a Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is great. Knowing how to flip the switch. It's kind of like, in certain times, yes, you want to be the creative, free-thinking, kind of wild child out in certain situations, but then in other situations, you want to be like setting your timer, going by the alarm clock, according to the schedule, having the routine, you know. And so the ability to switch between both of these modes, and it may not be so much we're trying to take the middle road. This isn't about temperance. Don't see that card here. This is about marrying together the extremes, not trying to like homogenize the extremes. We're not trying to just take one extreme over here, one extreme over here, and we're just going to go up the middle where we're a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No, we want to be a lot of this when it's needed, and we want to be a lot of this when it's appropriate. And anywhere in between, we want to be able to slide on that spectrum, right? And that's the fluidity of the magician, is infinitely adaptable. It's been likened to, a battlefield. When you're on the battlefield, sure, it's chaos, it's unpredictable. It's kind of an extreme situation, and so it's going to be the spectrum. It's going to slide all the way to the one extreme, and you've got to be able to go there. And then on the other side of it is just like, it's just kind of the routine and the drills and the practice and it's kind of like, well, musicians as well. You're in the practice studio. It's all about routine. It's all about the drills. It's all about the structure. But then when you're on stage, boom, it's all the way to the other side. It's just chaos. It's improvisation. It's just wild and screaming. You don't know what's going to happen, but you've already done all of that. And then every other situation in life is somewhere along that spectrum. Okay? Anyway, let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card, a little bonus for you, a little bonus of happiness. How's that for you? Just a little shot of happiness. Okay, bonus card, confirmation card, random card, Smith-Waite Tarot, the Factor Infinite and Unknown, and our very own Kelly Kapoor right on top. We're not going to look at this card until the very end, all right? It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any point during this program you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. All right. Now, as we look around the room, we do see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana energy. That's a lot of majors. A lot of major arcana energy. So there is a situation that you are confronted with right now, is represented by the 5 of Pentacles. That is challenging. There's something that you are trying to navigate yourself through, a problem, an issue, a challenge of some kind. All right. And this is something that's been presented to you by Spirit for a couple of reasons. One, to teach you who you are and teach you more about yourself and teach you how to sort of adjust your energies and how to sort of be fluid and slide on that scale. The scale of justice, the scale of that card, the Libra energy, this one, right? It doesn't just have 2 positions. It's not just this way or this way. It's fluid. It flows, okay? And so Spirit's trying to teach you that about yourself. And then the other half of this is kind of bringing you through this situation to the goal, to your best life, to happiness. So the end result of all of this is a 9 of Cups. Happiness. abundance on the physical, financial, mental, emotional, and spiritual creative planes. And we have to be, the magician has to be very adaptable, flexible, and elastic, very fluid, to know how we have to respond to every situation that's going to bring us the most of what we want in life, to bring us the happy life that we want. This is a life of meaning. This is a life of purpose. This is the card that says everything is getting better on every plane, in every dimension of your life. Things are going to be improving. There's going to be celebration. Okay, physically, financially, mentally, the whole thing. Okay. So we've got our majors. We have a couple of fire cards. We have a little bit of water. We don't have any air. We have a couple of waters here. So we have 2 fires. We have 2 waters. We have 0 air cards, right? Yeah, 0 air cards. Interesting. And then we've got 2 of these earth cards. Okay. And so I kind of like that, right? 2 fire, 2 water, 2 earth. Okay. And I think that the fire and water is also that juxtaposition, the 2 extremes. The fire, the Queen of Wands, right? This card hates water, hates it, because it puts the fire out. I hate order, I hate discipline, I hate routine, because it sucks creativity right out of the room, you know? And it's sort of, I'm just picturing Dr. House. He's just like, I can't cure all these crazy diseases if I have to wear a lab coat and like follow a schedule and like do paperwork. Like what? Like that, it sort of removes that element of, it removes the chaos, the fire, the flow, right? It makes it too rigid and too structured. It's, it's not always easy to schedule your genius, to schedule your creativity. We kind of have to just do it when the moment captures us. And so this card loves to be in the fight, loves to be in the fire, loves to be on the battlefield of life, right? Maybe literally. I wouldn't be surprised if you have some sort of military background, or if your family was a military family, okay? This card is the 10 of Cups, or even the 9, any of the water is antagonistic to the Queen of Wands, because the Queen of Wands doesn't want to be doused, doesn't want to be extinguished, likes to be in the fire at whatever it costs. Whatever the personal costs are, doesn't care. It wants to be in the moment, doing the thing, likes the excitement, likes the turmoil, likes the tension, likes the unpredictability, likes the adrenaline, likes the rush. It's the pleasure of pursuit, not the pursuit of pleasure, the pleasure of pursuit. And that's where this card really feels happiest. Okay? When it is in that chaos, doing the struggle, fighting and challenging and working its way through a difficult situation or difficult terrain. Okay? And I feel like that is that's one of your obstacles right now, because I feel like this Hierophant needs to work its way up to the surface a little bit. In order for this thing to evolve, we have to evolve a little bit. And to do that, we sort of need time, we need structure, we need practice, perhaps, right? You might be very good at what you do, but it's important that we have a little bit of discipline, or a little bit of order, a little bit of structure around us. Okay, so the Hierophant inside of us is kind of like, this is like a teacher that's trying to teach the kids, but the kids are just, wild and unruly and not listening and doing whatever the heck they want, which is good. It's good for them to be creative and follow their impulses and follow their genius and their creativity, follow their soul and spirit, follow their fire. But then it's kind of like, how do we contain that just enough so that there can actually be growth, because obviously, and I don't want to get into a debate about it, but kids don't necessarily make the best decisions all the time, right? So I feel like a little bit of order is going to be good. This is the card of the teacher. This is the card of the scheduler. This is the one that sort of tells us what the book says. And sometimes we got to go by the book. Sometimes we have to learn the rules in order to break the rules. Sometimes we have to learn the technique in the practice studio. We got to get really good at the drills. so that we can go out on stage and we can improvise and we can be wild and crazy creative. Okay, so we sort of need the ability to be both of these things. And this is the unconscious part of you right now that I think is really, this is what we need a little bit more of in order to reach our goals, whatever the goals are. Because right now there's chaos. There's a 5 of Pentacles. Things are changing. Of course, the Queen of Wands thrives here. You thrive in a situation like this where everything seems like it's moving. The ground beneath your feet feels like it's moving around, like you live in California or something. I lived in California for like 35 years. I was born there, so we had a few earthquakes in my day. But this is an instability of life. This is where everything's up in the air. Everything's uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen one moment to the next. And this is exactly where this person can thrive, okay? But this isn't going to necessarily change much. This is kind of in the moment where we're able to deal with this situation in the moment, but long term, or if this ever is going to evolve into something else, if this is ever going to change, and we see the 2 of Pentacles, which is the card of change. We see the Ace and the 9 of Cups, which is sort of like long-term goals here. What is the dream that we're really chasing here? Because this is fine for the day, right? This is kind of focused on the individual battle. But what about the long-term strategy? And that's something that the Hierophant kind of has to decide. Okay, well, you know what? I'm really good at adapting and being in this sort of chaos, but what is it really? How's it going to evolve? How's it going to change over time? What is my long-term strategy? What are my plans here? So we need that a little bit. What you have in the background is your Magician, because I feel like this is your ability to shift fluidly on that spectrum between this fire, between either fire and water, or between the order and the chaos. Okay, and the Magician is the one that I think has initiated this path for you, whatever you're doing right now. The Magician is the one who is adaptable. And this is kind of behind you, so I wonder if it's kind of like we almost have lost this a little bit, or we need to bring it with us. We don't want this to be in the past, right? We don't want this to be behind us. Because it's kind of like saying, maybe we've been in this chaos for so long, we sort of forgot how we can slide to a different way of being. That we can, because this is the card, this is the persona. This is the adaptability. This is the elasticity of ourselves. This is how our mask, it's stretchy. Our mask can be molded and shifted and shaped into something, whatever we want it to be. But maybe we've been in this Queen of Wands persona for so long that we sort of forgot, like, oh, okay, that's not appropriate in every situation, right? That sometimes, maybe I need to also be someone who can have a little bit of structure and organ. Maybe I should set my alarm clock sometimes instead of just waking up whenever spirit hits you and you get up out of bed and you start your day. Maybe it's like, I've been late to work for a lot because of that, right? So, having a little bit of that sort of order and structure. We might be forgetting that we're the Magician a little bit. We need to bring this back in. We need to remember that we can change our shape as we need to, depending on the situation we're in. We don't talk to our grandmother the same way we talk to our best buddies at work, So we're able to wear different masks for different occasions. Sometimes we get so lost in one particular mask, we get so identified with it that we forget that, I don't need to be this way, this extreme perhaps, all the time. Okay. Now in the future position, you got the Golden Fleece, you got the Holy Grail. Okay. I feel like this is the capstone on our pyramid of happiness, because this is a 9 plus an ace, we get the 10. This is the difference between the pleasure of pursuit and more of a serotonin state that says, I'm satisfied with what I'm achieving. I like how this is evolving, and I don't always need to be this type of person. Sometimes I can just rest and relax and enjoy what I have and feel contented. Okay? But see, if we're not thinking of the future, we're just thinking of more of this. Every day is going to be like a battle, like we're out on the battlefield every single day. There's no long-term strategy here. Okay? We have to at some point realize, oh yeah, I want other things. This was not the end, to just be here fighting and struggling and doing all this work. That's not the goal itself. The goal is that I'm building something, I'm creating something. I'm trying to build a world, a reality, a universe here that I can enjoy, that I can live in and feel good about it, you know, and feel a little bit of happiness, a little bit of satiety, right? 10 of cups. So I like that we got the addition of the 9. I think that's significant. Now, on the path of the serpent, we're going to talk about these cards, and if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. Your general energy is the Lover's card. It's your ability to marry both sides of yourself together. This is a kind of a bringing ourselves into wholeness, right? I feel like you're someone that had to grow up fast, right? The Spirit's saying that you had to quickly learn how to adapt to chaos and how to sort of function in that kind of environment, yeah? And also, what's the Post-it notes? You got a lot of those, like, I don't know, a lot of Post-it notes for something, yeah? It's all over the mirror or the wall or like a vision board or something. I see a lot of Post-it notes, yeah? So maybe you are trying to be a little more organized and have a little bit more of a plan and a structure, you know? So I think that's a good sign. This is the card of choice. This is the card of union. This is us trying to accept both sides of ourselves and not feel like if I'm the Hierophant, then I must not be the Queen of Wands, or if I'm the Queen of Wands, I must not be the other thing. This is realizing that every face we have is one of our faces. We're like a diamond that has many different sort of sides to it. Okay? Any one of those sides can reflect our essence through us. Okay? Are we the diamond itself? The diamond might be the magician might be the diamond. We can turn and have any face that we need at any given time. We're not necessarily the diamond. We're the light shining through the diamond, or through the prism, if you wanted to say prism. So I feel like the Lover's card is us realizing that I can accept all of these sides of myself because they are all an expression of my spiritual light. They are all an expression of my consciousness and my own unique way of expressing that light. Because that's what the magician is all about. The magician has learned that the light is coming down into us from the universe, from spirit, from consciousness, from wherever. The light comes into us, and then we transmit that light out into the world. The magician is just the messenger, right? Mercury's Hermes, the messenger. It's the transmitter of the divine light. It is the clear channel of spiritual energy. Okay? And it's not just kind of one channel. It's kind of like I don't know what kind of mechanical device it would be, but you kind of rotate it a little bit, and then that light's coming out through a different face. And then you click it again, and the light's coming out through another different face, right? But it's all us, and the light is the same. It's just being expressed in different ways. Okay? And that is what the tarot is trying to teach us, or trying to remind us of the fact that we are the magician. And we all have our own myriad ways of expressing the divine light through us. And I think this is us reconciling that and realizing that, yeah, whatever face I have on, whatever mask I'm wearing, that's me, sort of. That's my unique way of expressing that divine light. And I can wear different masks in different situations, whatever is appropriate and whatever is going to lead me to the goals that I have in my life. Okay. Now, the Princess of Wands in the position of the environment. This is similar to this because it's a court card and it's fire, right? But this is sort of showing us the inappropriateness of always being that sort of thriving in chaos kind of person. It doesn't really work very well in every situation. Sometimes it's not appropriate, right? Because sometimes it's We are starting things, we're not following through. Sometimes we're jumping from one activity to the other without ever really getting started on anything. And we have all these ideas, but there is just no structure to fulfill those ideas. Nothing will ever grow or evolve or become a success if all we have are these ideas, and then we rush and we dabble a little bit in it, and we sort of attack it briefly, and then we're sort of, then we're moving on to another area really, really quick. We never have time to really follow up and follow through. This is somebody that has a lot of business ideas, right? And a lot of great business ideas that could make a lot of scratch, but it doesn't really have the discipline, the structure, the organization, the patience maybe, to build it into something and to implement it and to make it work, okay? And so we have to be careful with this. Because again, this is very creative, but we have to take all of this energy, and then eventually we have to slide back down the scale into a little bit more Hierophant mode, so that we can then take this good idea and we can build a world with it. We can at least complete the task. Maybe you're running a business, and you say, I got an idea for a new service we can offer, right? And okay, well, we have that great idea. That's a wonderful idea. Let's see if it works. But then you come in the next day and say, hey, I got a new idea. Scratch that. I got a better idea for a new thing, a new service to make the business better. Okay, let's do that one. And then you come in the next day and you say, no, scratch those two. I've got a new idea. It's like, let's just start with one and let's follow through to completion. This is the card of sort of, a project that never gets done. An idea that never really reaches fulfillment, never crystallizes, never manifests. And so we can take this in the individual level and just say that there are probably a lot of things that we might be trying to start, wanting to start, good ideas we have, but none of it's manifesting because we're jumping around too much. We're just like, it's like a hot potato here. Sometimes we need that focus, we need that discipline, we need the structure and the order in order to implement our ideas and really follow through and reach completion and manifest these individual ideas. But even in the grand scheme of things, our life will never become our universe, our world will never become our personal reality, will never become what we want it to become if we don't invoke that Hierophant a little bit and put some boundaries around ourselves, put a little bit of structure and order, and keep ourselves disciplined, keep ourselves on a little bit of a schedule at certain times, And what we can really do if we take all of this energy into account with the Two of Pentacles, we can change the world. We can change our life like night and day, okay? We have to be able to flow freely and fluidly through the extremes, okay? Which is really what we see here. This kind of looks like a light switch, kind of is like there's two buttons. It's either on or off. But we see that there's a serpent flowing around these pentacles, which is kind of saying that nothing's black or white. Nothing is either yes or no, on or off. I'm either extreme this way or extreme that way. That it's a sliding scale. It's this kind of it's this serpentine motion where we're going to be, and even in the course of a day, we're going to drift from one end of the spectrum to the other. And we have to be comfortable at any point in this on this spectrum, right? And we can change our world, and we can get all the goals that we want, and we can get this ultimate 10 of Cups, this ultimate satisfaction of life. Yeah. Anyway, let's look at the mystery card. I want a 10 of Cups. I want a 10 of something. Doesn't matter really what it is. I want a 10 of something. Or another world card, or the Empress, maybe, perhaps. Okay. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Yeah, the world, another world card. Because this is saying that it's a kind of a reminder that, yes, we have to follow through with the things that we're doing. This is kind of never-ending chaos. This is saying there's a purpose to it all, and this is all for a reason, and this is going to have an outcome. Okay, and then, it's not saying that you have to just pick one thing and stick with it until you're done, but it's kind of saying, like, let's make sure that all of this energy we have, all of these creative ideas, I feel like you're you're very creative. I feel like you have this kind of creative genius about you. We have to be able to structure things in such a way that they'll actually have a chance of manifesting. We don't want to go to the other extreme, though, where all we're doing is planning, where all we're doing is creating systems and structures and rules and orders and laws and discipline and org charts and systems and, I don't know, procedures, without any kind of activity or work, without any kind of creativity, without the ideas. We're just as lost as we are on the other side of the spectrum, right? So this is a confirmation that, yes, we're building our reality here, and we're going to need to understand the dynamics of self in order to create our world. Yeah. Anyway, I like this one. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below in the video description. New readings for Capricorn, Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.